Get you back in here. As promised, we're going to go ahead and do an FTP test today. The way the day was shaping up, I wasn't sure if that was actually going to happen, but my wife was kind enough to prod me to get it done, and so here we are. So I did take a look at it earlier, and I'm seeing that audio should be working. I see videos, the video should be working. Looks like the game volume is being picked up. Appears to no big staticky sounds from the mic. I have a theory on what's causing that, so we'll see if today holds true. What you didn't hear yesterday is the description of now there's 3 worlds instead of just 2 on the world choice there. And that was due to a change they made yesterday that I got picked up the change. So it changes the calendar a little bit, and we'll talk about that another time here. But real quick, we will get you, well, let me get started because I think the volume on the game is a little bit louder at this point. So it doesn't matter where we ride. We'll just ride around Richmond. Now, we will ride in Watopia tonight. 2 to 3, 34, about 4,500 or so, 43, 4,800 people riding right now. Real quick, well, let me finish this. So we will be doing a training ride. This is what the FTP Ramp Test looks like. That's what we'll be performing. But it's only 5 minutes, kind of warm up, and I want to get warmed up a little more than that. So I had built some custom workouts in the past, and that was a 50. We'll use this one here. I call it a pre-race workout. We're going to be using, so any workout uses what's called ERG mode. So let me get going here, and I'll explain some of that. It's definitely taking a while to get loaded. All right, here we go. We're gonna flip a U-turn. You can see a new button down here if you were paying attention to previously. Actually, several buttons. You can pause your workout. ERG mode is on. I think you can increase and decrease your wattage compared to what it's trying to put out. So now that we're in the game, and you're just hearing the game kind of background noises, the sound from the birds and such, the ambient noises, you can probably hear me a little bit better. So, real quick, across the top here, you saw what my little structured workout looked like. It's a more refined screen. You can see in the top left, that's the total workout. 10-minute warm-up, 10 minutes at 195 watts. And then what this is doing is the gray bar there says warm-up. And what it's going to do is it's actually slowly bringing my wattage up over the next 10 minutes. If I remember right, that bar actually increases into the yellow zone, and then it drops down and just does some consistent 195 watts. I may not do all that, I might just stop it after some warm up here, but I wanted more than just 5 minutes of warm up. And it's flat warm up, it's just spinning. It comes with the FTP test, ramp test. There's actually several different FTP tests you can do on here. So I'm just taking it easy. I'm not trying to spin higher or anything. So the way this works is, in ERG mode, it's a continual battle between you and the smart trainer. So notice that gray 124 watts and my 124, sometimes 125, but pretty much looks like 123 there. So now the gray number went up to 129. So now my black number went up with it. The way ERG works is it doesn't matter how fast I pedal, how slow I pedal, what gear I'm in, none of that matters. So if I pick a bigger gear here, start going fast, doing 30 miles an hour, you're just going to let up on the resistance, because I'm supposed to be at 139 watts, period. So if I'm applying too much power, it doesn't help me. If I'm not applying enough, it doesn't help me. It's going to continually monitor my output against, we've got the reverse loop for what we did yesterday, against what the machine's trying to hold me at. So because of that, it also doesn't matter what terrain I'm on. Uphill, downhill, flats, none of that matters. Drafting, none of it matters. Because it's going to hold my watts at, right now, 160 watts. That has a direct correlation to speed based on the terrain I'm on. But it's going to hold my speed, you know, whatever that computation is at 0%. On gravel is a little bit different. But say when you get past this bridge on the asphalt, 0%, it's going to calculate this wattage at my weight, at my height, wind resistance, does all the physics. It's going to say based on that, we're doing 18 miles an hour. Period. 19 now, I guess, at 175. So watch this as we start going downhill. We're going to start going faster because we are doing the same 180 watts. And I can definitely feel it start to increase here. Five-minute mark. Time for my H2O. As always, I'll leave a link to that in the description. All right. So I remember now, I think these go to these segments. Yep, so now I'm on the second segment. No.
First road and enter the town of Oakland. Remember, it's very, very small.
It does, it decreases my wattage. Oh, that's what it is, I remember now. It's the same as these arrows up here, in the top left corner. It's a percentage of what it was trying to make you do. So it started shifting down. That doesn't matter. Now I got myself in this spiral of death, they call it, I think. So I'll turn that up, pause it for a second, get the speed again, where I'm going too slow. It's trying to apply more wattage. I'm not applying enough. I try to apply more, and we're in this constant downward spiral. So, I think what I'm going to do, oh, here we go. So I'm going to go to the next segment. There we go. Maybe. Oh, I'm probably going to pause it. Play. See, it's telling me more power. You're not up at your number. There we go. Good job. We'll hold you at 175. We'll go to the next segment and we're done. Okay. Because again, all I was trying to do, get my heart rate up there a little bit. I've accomplished that. Definitely going to need some fans today. All right. So I think what I'll do is I'll make a right. We'll hit the desert flats that I was talking about yesterday, even though you probably couldn't hear me because of the video audio issue. It's a desert-like area. You can kind of infer some little hat tipping to some areas, Area 51 maybe, Nevada section, maybe. There's some dinosaurs out there, you'll see them. And then from that, I'll take it up into the really nice area in the sequoias. Forget what they call that section, but we'll see it when the turn comes up. And there's just a bunch of rolling section. A little bit of a climb. But again, the climb won't matter because ERG mode will be on. Okay, so I'll head over the desert flats. My right turn blinkers, telling people behind me that's where I'm going. So if we're riding together, they would know I'm making a turn so they don't miss the turn. Change my name in the game. So you can see my YouTube broadcasting name there for anyone that wants to follow. I might make one more change to it, just so people know that that's somewhere to follow on YouTube. All right, well, got the heart rate up, got the sweat going. Past our 10-minute mark. Grab another drink. Again, if you missed that earlier, I know I've had audio issues and I apologize for that, so thanks for sticking with me as I work through that. So I've tried lots of different products over the years, and found this one works really well for me. It gives me balance, sustained carbohydrate release, so I don't get spikes and I don't get the sugar rush and all that. But your body needs carbohydrates during exercises like this. And it also gives me electrolyte replacement. So I found that in an unscientific measured amount that My body likes that amount every about 5 minutes while exercising. If I wasn't exercising, I could probably do a lot more, but the actual serving that works for me is while exercising, because blood's taken away from the gut. So you always need to be worrying about all these extra things when exercising that doesn't necessarily apply if your heart rate isn't doing stupid things. All right. So you can kind of see some sequoias over there to the right. I think we're going to be coming back to that. But first we're going to hit the desert flats. And I will go ahead. I think I need to go to the menu here. Go to workouts, FTP tests, ramp test, 43 minutes of pain. And the intent here is that since I can't hold, so every minute the wattage is going to go up 20 watts. Until it hits 500, and it's going to sit there for 5 minutes. Oh, now it looks like it goes higher than that. Let's see. It's going to go to 640 watts. Well, I could maybe do that for a few seconds, but not for a minute, so I do not expect that I will be able to finish this. The goal is to keep going, so I'm going to start this workout. There we go. It's all outlined on the left. With 5 minutes of free ride. Welcome to Zwift's new ramp test. A ramp test uses a short progressive build. Well, you guys can read. Every minute. Looks like it's going to go up about 15 or 20 watts. Varies a little bit until exhaustion. So this is you watching me in pain. So I hope you enjoy. It's telling me to keep my cadence high. Once it starts down, I try to get it back up. So if you keep it higher, and life will be good. All right. Well, I don't know if my just kind of telling you how to do this. What I don't see on the left anymore is that dashboard. So I don't know what my watts are. I mean, I'll see my watts in the gray versus black. Mine does, so I don't need to worry about that. But I won't be able to see my heart rate other than that red line. And okay, so it's going to use the 1 minute best to figure out my FTP. It's just a calculation because FTP is your functional threshold power. So it's your, in this case, theoretical, not measured, power output that you can sustain for an hour. So it's going to look at my numbers and and figure out my FTP based on that. If I can complete the ride, it's 43 minutes long, including this 5 minutes here. So we're under 40 minutes now. Again, I don't expect that will happen. But let's see what we can do. It also doesn't matter what bike I have selected or any of that. Getting a bunch of ride-ons here. I was going to mention earlier, and I forgot, it's 77 degrees in southern Mississippi, 52% humidity. Might not have been the best day to choose to do this. I do have my dashboard here, so I can see my heart rate. Alright. This may be kind of boring without me talking a bunch, but this one will be for your enjoyment and mine in a, I guess, masochistic sort of way. So see the yellow half dome up there? That's a gate, so you can see when things are going to change. That's this yellow up here, 1 minute at 90 watts. So when I cross that, that's the end of my 5-minute free ride. No one else sees that, so he's telling me to slow down a little bit, decrease my wattage. I can still pedal, same cadence. So no one else sees those gates, just me. Alright. So there's the orange gate. That'll be this first orange up here. You see the little star next to the gray bar up there. So I need to stand up a little bit here, stretch out, since he wants me to stay seated during the whole test. All right. Took me to 110. So just like any exercise, but you can really notice it in, say, weightlifting. It's super important that you focus on making sure that the effort, the mechanics are right. I'm not so worried about pushing lots of weight. Push lots of weight and get up to a big higher number and do something wrong can really hurt yourself. So, same thing here. Focus on smooth. We might get ugly toward the end, but we'll see. Staying seated, it's pretty hard to get ugly, because I'm going to keep my cadence probably sitting around 90 where it is now. My heart rate's still 137. There's a little Roadrunner on the left. Later on, I won't be able to do this. you have to hold your breath for a second. Oh, you swallow. Oh, here's my heart rate right above my cadence. Not sure why I didn't see that earlier. Those watching are probably saying that the whole time. Dude, your heart rate's right there.
So guys, now we're in our endurance phase. I don't need to see you make a jump. I need to do our workout.
Someone coming up behind me and doing an FTP test. Give them a ride on. That won't happen later on. They're 15 miles in. Eight seconds back. Actually, some good comments that keep coming up. The other two fans turned on. Maybe. There we go. Winds come fast.
good.
All right. I'm back. So you can see I got a star for completing each minute through the 305. I got a half star for the 325. Wow, I gotta tell you, I'm getting cold. But I'm gonna use the fan still to help the body do what it's trying to do. Right? We sweat because your body needs a bigger radiator. We generate a lot of watts of energy. Same watts you think of around a light bulb. 100 watts is a 100 watt light bulb. It gives off its energy in light, but also heat. That's why if you ever touch a light bulb when it's on, it's hot. So my body's still generating a lot of sweat as it tries to cool everything down. So I'm going to let it. Real quick, keep forgetting to mention this. It's kind of hard to tell because of my white jersey, and so it's kind of bright. Let me see if I can change the camera angle here for you. Oh, here it is. See my back pocket there with a little fluorescent blue hanging out. I'll head back to Ocean Boulevard. So those are all my thumbs up. So as you give people thumbs up, and it hovers over them, and it drops, it goes in their jersey pocket. So they can collect them. So as you're riding by people, you can kind of get an idea of just how many thumbs up they've gotten. Based on how full their jersey pockets are. The guy that just rode by, we passed him somewhere along the rides. Ron Morgan from Cortec. Saw him. We passed the 2 million mark on our drops of sweat. So, first time I've done this one. I've done the long, hour-long FTP, which takes you through a whole bunch of different surges and pushing you and then letting you relax and rest and push you in and getting you all ready. And then it's I think it's a 10-minute all-out, like a time trial. But you're riding, it's not in ERG mode. It's measuring what you can do. So a little bit different. This one's measuring what I can do, but it's setting the wattage for me. As you saw, failed miserably on that. But like I said, I was expecting to. I don't have the ability to push that kind of watts. Put in perspective, I'm not going to get the numbers exact, but it was somewhere around these numbers. One of the stages of the Tour de France last year, real quick, assuming the audio has been working the whole time, we'll go downtown. See the wood planks? So I mentioned this before, but again, you might not have heard it based on the issues I've had in the past. I don't feel this in the bike, but I see it, right? I'm going over wood planks so the video jostles a little bit. You can probably hear it in the audio if it's, assuming that the game, if I have it turned up enough. But you'll hear me going over the planks. And again, if you didn't hear me say it before, that other trainer that unfortunately I decided I couldn't get based on compatibility with my bike setup, actually supports a feature where when you go over that, it makes really fast adjustments to the resistance, so you feel the wood planks as well, because that comes back through the pedals to immerse you even more. Alright, so as you saw, wasn't able to complete 325. I really wanted to stand up, and I did at that one little spot, but it wanted me to not. And I think the main reason is you can't keep a high cadence while standing, and it artificially adjusts your wattage because you can use the weight of your body on the pedals, so it's not really all muscle. So I get that. Try to play by the rules. You saw my cadence just dropped ugly low. You know, sitting there at I think sub 40 at some point. I wanted to keep going, not because the number was great. You know, it was sitting at 250 or less, but I wanted to keep draining the legs. I want to see just how far, even at 250, if I can hold 250 for that long. You know, I have to see what my measured best has been in the past, but I think that number at the end, that it gave me a countdown to accept before it just accepted it for me. And if I remember right, that number is now 269 for my FTP. I've never measured it that high. So, if I hadn't mentioned it in the past, I'm just going to keep talking here because I need to get my legs back to normal here. Well, I will drink some more though. So I got this smart trainer Christmas of 2018. So a couple days after Christmas or beginning of January 2019 is when I first started riding on the smart trainer in Zwift. Oh, there's that banner up there. That's my end of my FTP test. So then the ERG mode will kick out, and the trainer will be controlled by the terrain of the road again. So I started riding. It had been, let's take a quick look here. Max heart rate was 180, max wattage 411, burn 535 calories and whatever. But let's look at the critical power here. So all of this from the 1 minute 36 seconds mark. Oh. All right, let's see here. What's it keep doing? All right, minute 36 seconds, all the way out to 33 minutes, 37 seconds. I set new wattage. I'm not sure why that keeps changing. Oh, one's probably just what I did. And this one here is, yeah, those are, all right, let me see if I can explain this to you. So these numbers aren't necessarily all the same ride. So let's look at the gray line only, because that's not moving. This says of all the measured rides I've done, my best 1 second effort is 768 watts. And my best 5 second effort is 648 watts. But it's not necessarily the same ride. Those could be months apart. But it's just saying it's a measurement of how my physiology performs. And probably there's some mental in there as well. But this is how I can perform at, for 5 seconds, my best is 648, 30 seconds, my best is 433 watts. At 1 hour, my best is right around 198 watts, right? So, not this orange line, but the other orange line says, based on this ride, so this is based on this ride, this would be your max effort for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. Okay? So part of it's extrapolated. Doesn't mean if I did this for 5 minutes. It means this would be my 5-minute best effort. I don't know if you can kind of see in the background, we're going uphill a little bit, so. And then the other orange line, when it flips back, wait for it here. I think I'm actually going on those rollers backwards from the ride yesterday, based on what the road's doing in the background. Well, if it ever flips back, somewhere, so now it's not going to flip back. Anyway, the other one I think is the actual measurement of how I performed for the ride. And that's why it kind of did this and then drops off. Because that is my measured, or maybe that's my theoretical, I don't know. Anyway, that's my 1 hour number. And that was the 236 watts, which is the theoretical number that I should be able to hold for an hour based on what we just did. All right, so enough of me talking. Yeah, so this is the uphill. Now I finally get a stretch. Ooh, that feels good. Oh, it feels good. All right. So we're gonna drop down this hill, left turn, sprint to that bridge. the other side of the sprint. Maybe we'll go for it, shall we? All right, well, that was 9/10 of a second off my personal best. 5th place out of 144 right now. I'm happy with that. At one point I had to shift because it felt so good. I just kept going, kept winding up the cadence. I felt like I had more, so grabbed another gear and kept going. All right, well, that felt good. Kind of flushed some legs a little bit. So here we're on the cobbles, and kind of it's not rhythmic like the bridge with the wooden planks, because it's not. It's more kind of all over as your bike's following the cobbles. It's pretty realistic. All right. Well, from here, we'll do, I know this is getting long now. I don't want these to become boring for everyone. As is, I think they're sitting around an hour. I think if I thought about it, I'm not sure if I were you, I'd want to sit around watching some guy talk while he rides bike for an hour. But if that is you, then I'm glad I'm providing something for you. And here's hoping that my theory on the audio worked, and this whole effort had sound. Even though I guess once the FTP test started, it didn't really matter since I wasn't doing any talking. All right. So, felt good about my cool down there. Got some legs stretched out a little bit. Look at the miles, 20.4. So I'll go ahead and take us to 21. Keep the heart rate down. If you weren't able to hear me before, when I had described it, I always finish out a mile because you get 30 experience points for every mile. You don't get any experience points for 0.9 miles, or 0.8 miles, or 0.7, or anything like that. So, might as well finish out the mile I'm on, cool down a little bit, and get the extra 30 experience points. Oh, good. I didn't take the time earlier to check for any chat because there's no way I could respond to any of it. But I did get a message that Sam was there the whole time, so that's good. Feeling happy. 60 points, so if I didn't describe it all, let me finish my story here. So I started riding beginning of 2019, essentially. Riding pretty consistently, then kind of fell off, riding off and on. Just life getting in the way. Did some more good riding into Thanksgiving. Knew I was going to be off the bike. Did a little mini vacation. Whole world got turned upside down. Almost 5 months off the bike. 5 months, that's not right. February. Like 11 or 12 weeks off the bike, I think. So I went in and manually reset my FTP down to 150 because I knew that, chilling down, get some fans off. I knew that as I rode, and my FTP gets measured all the time, if I rode above that 150, it would start bringing it back up for me. And it did, it started bringing it up. A few weeks ago, it got reset up to 209. I don't remember what I had it up to sometime last year, but we reset that to a new number today. Today it was 269, I think, if I remember seeing that correctly. So that's a new high. And so I'm glad with that, happy with that. And I think with that, I will leave you. We will find my mouse here. Oh, see, my mouse went dead again. I don't know why it goes dead. So we'll reach over here to the laptop. Set a new 5-minute personal best there for 5-minute sustained wattage. We're almost to 94,000. So we have what, 144 left to go. Divide by 30, about 5 miles. So next ride, did I do that right? Yeah, about next ride, we'll go up to level 20, I think it's 23. I should be able to see my, yep, there's my new 236, is that right? I thought it was higher than that. Maybe it doesn't reset until after I finish. Could have sworn it was higher than that. Alright, we'll see what it does. So we'll end the ride here. I already looked at all this. Oh, nope, 239. So I'll have to try and look back and see what my max was before. This might be a new max. I don't know. We'll see. So we'll save and exit. Again, that will get pushed up to Strava and Garmin. So that's how I have it set up. We'll change the title on this because they picked that up based on that first workout I did. So it's our FTP Ramp Test. Save and exit. Alright, as always, if you like the video, hit the like. If you want to be notified of when I go live or when I post anything or upload anything, hit the subscribe. Again, I'll leave in the description a link to the maps. If there's something you want me to ride, reply, and I'll add it to the list and make sure I get that on the list. And I think that might be it. I'll fade us to black.